The EU and China are currently contemplating issuing vaccine passports or certificates to travellers. This would permit travel for individuals who have received the coronavirus vaccine to these countries. This is the first step towards lifting travel restrictions, and this news is highly welcomed by the travel and aviation sectors. Both these countries have been devastated with travel bans as governments imposed severe restrictions on all inbound and outbound travel to their countries. This response was a bid to control the spread of coronavirus and also to prevent new mutant strains transmissions from entering. With the start of a successful coronavirus vaccine program in most countries, the first glimpses of resuming free travel between nations is a real possibility in the not-too-distant future. However, contention has arisen with the announcement of coronavirus vaccine certificates being issued. Travel restrictions will still apply to those who have not yet received the jab. This may be due to individuals still being on the waiting list for a vaccine in their respective countries. Another group will be those who have made a personal decision to refuse to be vaccinated. Unfortunately, the impact of the so-called coronavirus passport is divisive. It will allow travellers in the older age group to travel freely, but younger people will still be subjected to a ban on travel. The main reason is attributed to older people being prioritised to receive the vaccine, as they are at a higher risk of health complications arising if they contract the coronavirus. There will be a period of waiting before young people qualify to receive the jab. This varies between countries, but many will probably have to wait a few more months before being eligible. This week, the EU announced plans for the digital green coronavirus pass, which would provide proof an individual has received a vaccination against COVID-19 and will also record all test results. This will help people, at least for now, EU residents, to travel freely within the European Union region. In the UK, the government has been highly successful in administering the vaccine rollout programme to its first phase of 9 priority groups. The last few groups remaining will be those who are under 50, and of course the vaccine rollout programme will vary between different nations. A vaccination passport certificate scheme is inevitably strewn with controversy. Criticism has been directed about its imposition on freedom of movement and infringing human rights. Younger people feel angry, ostracised, that they are being ignored and their freedom to travel and book holidays is subjected to further delays, but this is understandable as they are considered to be one of the last groups on the vaccine programme priority list. Some people go further, pointing out that the coronavirus passport scheme has a discriminatory generational division between limiting freedom of movement between the young and older groups. There is another argument that the introduction of the vaccine passport may be extended in the future, again limiting access to certain other venues, for example cinemas, certain employment sectors, and may also be used to block access to certain services, for example housing, especially within by private landlords, certain public services, and in due course may further marginalise some people from wider aspects of society. If the vaccine passport is a mandatory requirement for making an application for certain professions, for example, nursing or social care come to mind. However, it is just a matter of patience, really, as younger people will soon be eligible to receive the COVID-19 vaccination as soon as the first priority list groups have been inoculated, at least in the UK. Regardless of which side of the age groups you fall in, the vaccination passport certificate introduction is highly welcomed by the travel and aviation industry, as at last there is a window of hope that companies can see light at the end of the tunnel of what has been the worst 12 months, especially for the travel industry. The lowest number of travellers since the 1960s has been recorded. The sectors have also been decimated by the global pandemic, and now at least tour operators, airlines have started to resume taking bookings with the knowledge that certain countries anticipate successfully vaccinating vast swathes of their adult population within the next few months. Bookings for summer holidays have surged in the UK. Most adults aged over 50 are included within the first priority group, which is almost guaranteed to have received their vaccination jab by the end of May, if not earlier. However, the lifting of all travel restrictions is dependent upon each individual nation, and travellers still need to check up-to-date information and be aware that everything is still subject to change if circumstances alter in the future. Nonetheless, this uncertainty is not impeding many people from booking their holidays. Many of us are pragmatic with our decision making to start booking our holidays early, and we are all aware that there is no foolproof guarantee. However, the coronavirus vaccination passport certificate scheme will have a major impact upon opening up the economy for most nations, and also travel impacts everyone's well-being. For many, a holiday is a short period of escapism from reality. Many of us want to travel having experienced months of lockdown, limited social interaction and confinement to our local areas. A new zest for travel has been fueled by successive lockdowns, and it won't be long when we all will be able to book our summer vacations or our winter ones shortly.